ugly, carelessly. His hand is not rotten. Now if you go through the air, you won't be the unlucky person of that year anymore. Life will turn to a new page. Whether he will break this curse this time or 11 times in a row in exchange for a 1-star item is the system's fault. 11 the next time I exchange it for a 1-star item, it's his fault. Don't be like that. Is his hand cursed by the god of bad luck? Ling Xiao hugs his head and screams in vain 40 times to exchange for 9 useless goods. He hates life to put his face in a basin of water because of depression, but it's okay. While breathing is still unstoppable, we double there. Okay. He saw that the ground was unlucky, so he climbed to the top of the tallest sculpture here to get closer to luck. His stat points aren't enough to draw 10 times in a row, so he can only draw 1 at a time and wait for the miracle to happen. One click with all hope and unexpectedly hit a handful of 1-star elixir powder. God damn it. He spits blood and falls from the top to the ground. Tan Tian appeared to help him up, but accidentally touched the system, but successfully parried his bad luck. A 5-star item appeared. Try it now and see if your armpits hurt. God, your armpits hurt. There's a gun called The Times Have Changed appear in front of my eyes. In the midst of countless martial arts swordsmen, what can he do with guns alone? In the midst of countless martial arts swordsmen, what can he do with guns alone? In this situation, flowers will fall at the door. Buddha of all things lies still in front of his gun. All sentient beings are equal. He shot out a bullet to see if the world would be amazed. Did not expect Deep Blue Van to run away with a face as dark as constipation for a long time. How could it be that the great defensive formation that we were proud of was the 23 first-generation sect masters repaired and strengthened from this Thai wasteland? No one could be able to oppose it, who had never been attacked. So why now? Has been demolished. As soon as he met Ling Xiao, he asked if he had seen any suspicious people passing by. If you shoot through the roof of someone's barrier now, if you accept it, you will only be beaten to death. Seeing my father run away to catch Tan Tian, people couldn't help but laugh. He froze for a moment, and then stammered trying to explain. But she didn't care because in his eyes, every day, he always showed a perfect elegant appearance like an unexpected fairy. But there was such a cute face. Today got a good result. So he was also a little happy in his heart because in order to thank Tan Tian for helping him draw change of times gun, he decided to give her a single purple elixir in the collection. Inventory. Holding the gift in his hand, his face suddenly became extremely unsightly. It was a pity to give the item, but not to give it. It was strange that he hesitated for a while, and finally decided to give it to him. But what he gave was not death color, but green color. Wow, the villain is so shameless that even he himself considers himself stingy, but he just thought this low-level item would have some tonic effect, but how could he expect Tan Tian after I suddenly broke through when I ate a medicinal pill? And ghosts change their clothes in the blink of an eye. It really does look good in this and that. It's a lot less alum than before. Tan Tian said, "Thank you very much." After I swallowed this pill, I immediately felt that the air in my body was much smoother. This elixir is both suitable for my physique and makes me immediately break through. He died a little while ago when he heard about it. He regretted giving away cheap goods. How could he expect this to be so great? The more he thinks, the more he doesn't understand, the more he thinks about it, the more bitter and angry he becomes. Suddenly Tan Tian knelt down and told him some words of praise. She was helped again and again by his help, waiting for the opportunity to repay. She knew that her cultivation was still poor and her appearance was mediocre, but she still wished to stay by his side, as a maid to repay the great favor. After listening to Tan Tian, Lang Qiu's face changed, and he was no longer as happy as before. He seriously said that I think it's true that gratitude is fake to take advantage of this young son. Tan Tian was silent for a moment, then clarified his hope. Ever since she was a child, she dreamed of seeing the vastness and wonder of Tan Chao, hoping to grow up to be like her seniors, who came to Tan Chao once. But then as the years passed, she began to realize that she was born and slowly ascended as an unattainable thing. She could only put her childhood dream in a corner to follow his father's arrangement to go to heaven. Qiu's sect as a reclusive new mistress. But then God mercifully let her meet him, and hope rose again. So she had the thought that she only regretted having exceeded her duty. When she said these words, she thought that this would be the end, and was rejected outright. No wonder Lang Qiu sat down in front of her, and said that he agreed to let her take advantage of him once, because he thought he was an idiot. Having the desire to give up on your own dreams is the greatest sin. At the main hall of the Deep family in Tanfong, a man named Deep Fan is being severely reprimanded by his 3 seniors. This person was just remarried by the girl's family, and now he was pushed from the main house to the cottage at the magazine, being scolded for being born with varicose veins and unable to cultivate. They also raised him with respect to his father's love. Now, because of the divorce that kissed made me lose face, so I decided to punish him like this. When Ling Xiao saw the next main character that needed to be eliminated from the system, he started thinking about how to deal with it. According to the usual storyline, the male lead is despised by the girl's family and quits the marriage. The result is that the male lead accidentally encounters a path of promotion back, and the girl's family does not fail. The focus of the divorce episode is often placed on the male lead's fiancée, but this is his next task. Still don't know how the two should have a relationship to get here. At this moment, Qiu panicked and ran in to report that many people were surrounding the door of the sect and needed his help. Outside of the people of the 8 great sects, they came to know that the Xianjian sect appeared treasonous because they did not accept the explanation, so they came to search a body. Deep Blue Van stood up and talked to Nam Ba Tian. The more he talked, the more tense the atmosphere became. Deep Blue Van repeatedly stated that the act of colluding with magic was a story of Chu Duan alone that had nothing to do with his Xian sword sect, but that Nam Ba Tian refused to believe it and thought that they were hiding it. Hides the demonic forces by his side, insisting on searching. Deep Blue Van, as the sect master, of course, didn't let him because he knew that these people didn't have good intentions, just wanted to use an excuse to rob the sect's luck. Nam Ba Tian, the tattooed uncle, was short-tempered, and before he could say a few words, he raised his axe and demanded to hit people. What if you don't have the courage? Take one of my axes. At this moment, Lang Qiu appeared. With just one sword, he could cut his weapon in half. Not only that, but also gave him a cold look on the opponent's back like a threat. Everyone who witnessed it was shocked and surprised. This was originally a person of the Ba Tianfang dynasty, the strength of which was difficult to deal with, but was easily stopped by him. Nam Ba Tian was humiliated by a teenage boy. Of course, he was furious. He knew that he was Lang Qiu Tan Chao Duke, but once he entered the battle, everyone was the same. Quickly summoned a green rank great sword while swinging it and saying non-stop, "Just now, it was just my ordinary magic weapon. Next is my last magic weapon, a god. She has the power to be close to this soul sea." After finishing his words, he rushed forward, using his appearance and strength to overwhelm. Lang Qiu calmly pulls out his gun. "Good martial arts master, please accept one bullet from me." Is it surprising that this old man called this superior weapon? Standing in front of the muzzle of his gun, everyone is the same as anyone who says that he is a beehive. Nam Ba Tian fell out in front of everyone's astonishment, and everyone was surprised that a person who had entered the context of Hon Hai was so easily defeated. Seeing that the situation seemed chaotic, Ling Xiao asked if anyone else wanted to challenge me. As for that corset, a timely person hastily explained that he was just a victim forced by Nam Ba Tian to participate in the Xian sword sect. He didn't stop there to show his sincerity. He also knelt down and offered his sword to ask for his forgiveness. This is not strange. It's better to admit your mistake and go home, but 1 minute of impulse will bring the grave out later. When Uncle Dai Tong's people saw the offering, they immediately fell to their knees and apologized. It's nice to see the pile of items rising up, but his inventory is about to overflow and there's nowhere to store it. He turned to say to Deep Blue Van, "For now, just help him collect it all, slowly before using it." The story here is over. Lang Tu turned around and was about to leave, but was stopped by a rich woman who said that the bias sect had a gift to offer. He stopped and thought it was an item, but it happened to be the goddess Tian Mai Tong Feng Hio Ni, the fiancée of the male lead Deep Fam. Great old lady, he was still worried about how to approach, but fortunately the bridge appeared. Without any further hesitation, he grabbed Feng Hio Ni's hand and dragged it away, even though the other party was bewildered and didn't understand what was going on. He took her straight to his own room and started asking about her background. According to Feng Hio Ni's words, she came from the Feng family of Tan Fong Tan, had a marriage contract with Deep Fam of the Deep family, but had already canceled the marriage. He casually asked her if she took the initiative to annul the marriage, and she lied that the seductress couldn't destroy her body, otherwise it would be considered as a waste of time to earn firewood for 3 years and burn it for an hour. Lang Tu's eyes changed gradually to become sharp. He didn't bother to go around, but directly said that charm can't be broken. On the contrary, she also collected male yang energy to help increase her gong. She annulled her marriage with Deep. It's simply because he sees him as a crippled genius who can't even cultivate and isn't even worthy of her. When he saw Feng Hio Ni's silence, he thought that she had been hit in the face because the divorce was mainly due to the fiancé's disregard for the male lead. He clearly saw that Feng Hio Ni's stats were very low. Obviously, she wasn't the one that the male lead noticed. It was just a cannonball. Feng Hio Ni was silent for the whole day and suddenly spoke. "My son knows what you are worried about. After the annulment, I have never let Deep Fam touch it. If you don't believe it, you can come and check it yourself." Not only that, she also took the initiative to take off her outer clothes, and then slowly walked to want to use her own hot body to seduce him. "Stop doing this. You're too much of an influence on the customs and traditions." Tan Tien, who had been hiding in the grove for a while, was so angry that he rushed in and loudly stopped him. The atmosphere just now, after seeing him, immediately fell. Tan Tien shyly asked, "Did I come at the wrong time?" I thought that the last phase would go straight to the ground, but I never thought that Lang Tu was not only not angry, but also happily said that she came at the right time. Then he asked if she knew Deep Fam of Tan Tan Fong, who knows that Tan Tien has a relationship with that party, that Deep Fan is also coincidentally her sugar brother. Lang Tu listened, but only now understood everything. Tan Tien's luck index had just increased when it came to Deep Fan. It turned out that according to the pattern in the novel, Deep Fan was quite disappointed in this fiancé of his. I just switched to another person, but he didn't expect that the person in both male leads' hearts was this Deep Tan Tien. I was thinking. Suddenly, Feng Hio Ni came and clung to him and said that she knew a lot of things related to Deep Fam. If he was interested, she would slowly tell the story right away. I thought I would take this opportunity to get close to Ling Xiao. but he was suddenly pushed away by the other party. He bluntly chased her away, and said it would be best not to do anything redundant with him in the future, and then so took Tan Tian's shoulder and left, ignoring Feng Qiuyi standing in the room angry. That night he sat alone on the roof watching the moon, by the way planning to deal with the male lead. All of the male lead's luck and love has been robbed, but there is still one thing that he always keeps in his heart. This wasteland is an extremely barren place. Treasures are not many, only low-class people. The original owner is not afraid to suppress the realm that insists on coming here, which is definitely related to the demon on the body inside the taboo of both the Holy Pearl and the Four Emperors. The original owner wanted to deal with the inner troubles. There were only two methods, either to remove the heavenly demon's true body from the sealed body and suppress it, or to release the true strength of the demon to become the supreme demon emperor to crush sentient beings. But in the end, he still didn't know what the original owner wanted to do, because he couldn't know what the hell was going on when he penetrated. Mentioning the devil reminds him of Manhwa. This entity is so patient, after so long. Even going out to take a breath can't come out. He stood up and looked at the moon and sighed softly. Tian Ma and Manhwa had to deal with it sooner or later. Now the system wants him to kill the male lead no matter what. He needs to go to Tan Tan Fong once to be able to do it. Be clear. A few days later, the people of Langtu continuously set out to Tan Tan Fong. They sat on a flying boat, and wherever they flew, it became a hot topic of discussion. Deep Fan went fishing on the ground when he suddenly discovered a map with a missing corner in the fish's belly. Just when he was about to use a decoding tool to find the treasure location, a giant black shadow suddenly appeared. The people in the sky were all over the place because of this flying boat. They knew that this was Lang Tu's means of transportation, so they all praised its luxury. Deep Fan didn't pay attention, and was about to turn away when a person ran up to him and called out to him to hurry back, and also informed that Ling Xiao would come over, so the owner arranged a banquet. Not only that, the Tan Tian that he secretly loved and missed also came with this person. In the bustling atmosphere, everyone brought rare and delicious food from the house to Ling Xiao to taste it. Deep Fan's silence is like an introvert sitting in the middle of a forest of extroverts. Opposite him is Lang Xiao on the left, a woman pouring wine on the right, a meat picker, the right kind of person who can't use it all but dig it out. Deep Fan looked at this scene in front of him and kept cursing in his stomach, calling him a trashy slut. Lang Xiao is now willing to go on the floor and start acting as a villain. He hinted at Feng Qiuyi, mentioned a few words about his fiancée to him today. Meeting him today is extremely excellent. An uncle came in from somewhere and told him not to mind, because Deep Fan was a natural-born waste that didn't deserve Feng Qiuyi. They have already annulled the engagement, and Deep Fan was also hit by bullets. He patiently tilted his head back and drank the wine without saying a word. Feeling that that wasn't enough, Ling Xiao turned to Tan Tian and deliberately loudly told her to come to his room tonight. He would try to teach some more exercises. When I heard these words, Deep Fan got angry. Is he spicy? Spicy? Can you do anything? Of course not. Wang Qiuyi was originally not the one he cared about. She could do whatever she wanted to dig a mine, whoever she wanted to dig. Only that Tan Tian was sitting in the same place with Lang Xiao. He really didn't understand what charm he had put on these two to make them so attached. Ling Xiao saw that Deep was silent for a long time, so he brought a glass of wine and said, Deep Fan's brother Tan Tian has mentioned many stories about you. The point that makes me admire the most is the spirit of perseverance even though the pulse is broken. He was born unable to cultivate, and absolutely refuses to accept it. This is the enlightenment that we cultivators should have. Add a sentence that he will find a good method to heal his varicose veins to help him. Again, Deep Fan was so angry that he trembled, and was about to continue to be silent, but was reminded by his family. Now he laughed and raised a glass to say a few cliched thanks. Of course, Ling Xiao knew that this person was playing tricks, but his patience really surprised him a bit